Why do you think you are better positioned than Bloomberg to beat Trump, Senator Warren?
I think the way we build a democracy going forward is not billionaires reaching in their own pockets or people sucking up to billionaires. The way we build it going forward is we have a grassroots movement funded from the grassroots up.
So let me just tell you why I believe I'm the best candidate to take Trump on. To start with, I have workable and achievable plans to deal with all of the toughest challenges facing this country, and I will get it done.
See Mike Bloomberg looking ahead to Super Tuesday right there. We're joined now by the woman you just saw there on the screen, Senator Elizabeth Warren. Thanks for joining us again this morning. I don't want to talk about Mayor Bloomberg just yet, but the question will be for you now, how do you get to Super Tuesday? Third place in Iowa. Right now you're behind the two front runners. What's your strategy to get there?
So, look, I don't think of this so much in terms of strategy. I think of this as the opportunity to get out and talk about the things that people really care about. I've been doing town halls and taking unfiltered questions really for a year now. And the things that people ask about, they ask about canceling student loan debt. They ask about whether or not we could really do universal child care and universal pre-K. They ask about whether or not we can expand Social Security payments by a couple of $100 a month and want to know how that would work. I have plans for all of those. Those are the things people ask about. Those are the things I talk about.
And you were talking about that in Iowa. You had a huge organization in Iowa. You have a big organization here in New Hampshire. If you can't crack the top two here, no one's ever gotten the nomination if they don't crack the top two in Iowa and New Hampshire.
You know, look, the way I see this is it's going to be a long campaign. When I made the decision not to spend 70% of my time raising money from billionaires and corporate executives and lobbyists, it meant I had a lot more time to go around the country. I've been to 31 states to do town halls, red states and blue states. We have about 1,000 people on the ground. We've built a campaign to go the distance. And that's what I think is going to happen here.
You know, you've been making that case against the candidates who are taking money from billionaires. You made it at the debate. You've been making it all through the campaign. We just had Mayor Buttigieg on, and he made no apologies for doing what he's doing. He says it's important to build the biggest coalition you can.
You know, the coalition of billionaires is not exactly what's going to carry us over the top. The way I see it right now is that we have a government that works great for a thinner and thinner slice at the top. And that's been true for decades. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. So we now have companies like Amazon and Eli Lilly and Halliburton that report billions of dollars in profits, paying nothing in taxes. Meanwhile, folks across this country, somebody's got to keep this government running. And so they pay their taxes so that the roads are paved and the bridges still work and we provide for the defense. People, Democrats and Republicans, get that they're getting the short end of the stick. And what's the reason for that? It's corruption. It's a Washington that makes, it's a bunch of billionaires that make big campaign contributions or reach in their own pockets like Michael Bloomberg does. Here's the thing. If it's going to take sucking up to billionaires or being a billionaire to get the Democratic nomination to run for president, then all I can say is buckle up, America, because our government is going to work even better for billionaires and even worse for everyone else.
There's a reality out there. I read this weekend that you've had to pull back your advertising in Nevada and South Carolina because you don't have the funds to go forward if you don't do better here.
You know, but look at the question you're asking. You're really putting democracy out here on the line. I believe in democracy, and that's why I decided I was going to build this as a grassroots movement and make this system better. Because right now, we have Washington where, in theory, everybody has the same voice. But billionaires, they may own more shoes than the rest of us. They may own more cars. They may own more houses. But they shouldn't own a bigger piece of our democracy. And so long as they can do that, that's how it is that the things we want to see get done don't get done. Think of it this way. More than 90% of Americans want to see us pass some basic, sensible gun legislation. But we can't even get a vote. in the United States Senate. Why? Because the gun industry blocks it. Huge numbers of people want to see us pass legislation to reduce the cost of prescription drugs. All those Democratic candidates stand on stage and say, yeah, they're going to do that. But it never happens. Why? Because the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want it, and they have more power in Washington. And you can go industry by industry. Why do we spend so much money on defense? Maybe one of the reasons is the Secretary of Defense is a former lobbyist of 7 years for one of the biggest defense industry. This is corruption. And we got a chance in 2020 to turn that around.
One of the other reasons is, and I was talking to Vice President Biden about this, is the Republicans control the Senate right now. And he was making the case that it's going to be much, much harder for the Democrats to take control of the Senate if there's a Democratic socialist at the top of the ticket. You didn't take the opportunity to take that on Friday night.
So look, I am not, I am a capitalist. I believe in markets. This is what I talk about all the time. There are areas where markets don't work, like in healthcare and in education. But there are a lot of areas where markets do work, and that's what gives us innovation, and that's what creates opportunity, and that's what can grow wealth. But markets need rules. Markets without rules are theft. So it's a big part of what I'm running on. I want to see an America of opportunity, and that means we need a market economy, but it's got to be a market economy that's fair and that everybody gets to play. That means we need a president who's willing to enforce our antitrust laws, which I'm ready to do.
There are a lot of Democrats across the country watched this week. They watched the chaos and confusion in Iowa. They watched President Trump's State of the Union address on Tuesday. They see these new jobs numbers coming out. President Trump's approval rating going up to 49%, according to the Gallup poll, and say he's going to win again. Can you give them hope?
Yes. You know, I hear people talk about the race against Donald Trump may be unwinnable. I've been winning unwinnable fights all of my life. I won the fight to get a consumer agency. The CFPB passed into law when everybody said it couldn't be done. I won the fight to hold corporate executives accountable, got the CEO of Wells Fargo fired not long ago. I won the fight to take back a Senate seat from a popular incumbent Republican. You know, in fact, I'm the only one in this race now who has beaten an incumbent Republican any time in the last 30 years. The way I look at this is that people say, oh, these races are unwinnable or that person can't win. Right up until you jump in the fight, you persist, and you win. That's what I'm going to do.
A lot of campaigning ahead. Thanks for joining us this
morning. Thank you. Good to see you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.